here at Wofford. And as our custom at our Hall of Fame inductions, we ask all current and former Hall of Fame members to please stand and be recognized. Come on, I know you can. Come on, Harold. Come on. Our class today, our inductees today, will be joining a very distinguished group, as you can see. A lot of Wofford history in the room today. The Athletic Hall of Fame is a committee is appointed by the Terrier Club president, Jeff Sarvis, and Jeff chairs that group. And I sit in on those meetings ex officio. And Jeff and our Hall of Fame committee are a very, very diligent committee. Their standards are exacting. And so this group is certainly a deserving group to pass muster from that committee. So with that, we'd like to start our inductions. And our first inductee will be introduced by our current head baseball coach, Coach Todd Donato.
Officially welcome everybody here. This is as Coach said, a very distinguished class, and I am honored to be here inducting Michael Gilmartin into our Hall of Fame. As coaches, some of the most cringeworthy emails you can get are from parents. Coach Donato, my son is very interested in Wofford College, and it just can make your skin crawl. Even more cringeworthy can be the uncle emailing you, which is what happened in this case with Michael Gilmartin, getting an email from his Uncle Dan saying, my nephew's a really good baseball player, you should check him out. Well, at the time Michael was transferring from UC Irvine and getting the email from Dan, he started Google searching his name, come to find out the player seemed to be legitimate. This is on Friday, July 28th of 2006, this email comes through. At 6 p.m., I tell Coach Traylor about the email, so we need to go watch this kid play. If he's looking to transfer, we should go watch him. Go back and forth and find out his last game of the summer season is a doubleheader the next day on July 29th in Rockville, Maryland. And it's 6 p.m. Talk to Coach Traylor. Coach Traylor goes, what do you think? I go, we'll go. So you get in the car and you drive up there, watch him play a doubleheader. And when I'm leaving, I call Coach Traylor at the house and his wife answers the phone. I said, hey, is Coach around? She goes, yeah. I said, I'd like to speak with him. So he answers the phone and he goes, the kid's that good, huh? I go, I haven't even told you anything about him. He goes, Coach, you've been recruiting here for 2 years. You've never told me on the way home about a player. So I assume he's pretty good. I go, how much scholarship money do we have left? He goes, this amount. I go, okay, give it to him. Just give it all to him. He goes, okay, that's what we'll do. From 2007, Michael obviously transferred here. From 2007 through 2009, the Wofford College baseball team played 171 games. Michael Gilmartin started 171 games at shortstop, which turns him into, in my opinion, the most reliable, consistent, and productive player that we've had in our Division I history here at Wofford. Not only was our starting shortstop for 3 straight years, but he was also our primary relief pitcher. In 2007, as a freshman, he had .322 with 14 home runs, 50 RBIs. But he also led us in ERA and saves. And none more important than saving the last game of our season to clinch the Southern Conference Championship. And if you've ever seen the picture of us clinching, it is Michael with his hands raised in the air, which was one of the best victories I think any of us in this program have been a part of, beating the Citadel at Citadel for the Southern Conference Championship. In 2008, he led us in hitting, extra base hits, RBIs, and again in ERA and saves in 2008. In 2009, he repeated it, leading us in batting average, home runs, RBIs, ERA, and saves. Was rewarded by being a draft pick from the Oakland A's in 2009, played 8 professional seasons. This past year came back to get his diploma, as Coach Traylor and I were hoping for through all those years of Pro Bowl. So 2018, he is now a Wofford College graduate and a Wofford College Hall of Famer. Congratulations, Michael.
First of all, I just wanted to thank everybody for being here today. Obviously, this is a very special event, and I feel very blessed and honored to be here sharing this special occasion. And the first one up, so it's a little bit of pressure on me to give speeches. So, I wanted to thank the Hall of Fame Committee. As Mr. Johnson was saying, it's a very tough process, and I understand that, and I just really want to say thank you to them for giving me this opportunity. It's a very tremendous honor. I feel very blessed because Wofford has such a prestigious history. It's been around since the 1800s. If you walk through Old Main, you can't help but feel a sense of history and pride from being able to say that you got your degree from Wofford College. So everyone that's helped me through this whole process, my family, my aunts and uncles who are all here today, my Uncle Dan and his family. Coming here from California, I'm originally from California, so coming here from California, it was kind of a culture shock because I didn't really know anything except my Southern California, LA area roots. And when I committed to come to Wofford, I think I committed here, and I didn't really come to the school first I knew in my mind that I was coming here and this is where I was going to be, but I did that without seeing the school and everything. So when I came down here that first visit, I was kind of thinking, what did I get myself into? And looking back on it, it was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. As far as Coach Trailer, I just want to thank you guys so much for not only helping me to achieve my goal of becoming a professional baseball player, and not only doing that by getting my degree, but also you guys gave me a chance, and that's what I was looking for. And I just want to thank you guys for giving me that chance and giving me that opportunity, because in life, you need people that are gonna not only help you out, but just give you an honest shot and an honest chance. And I really thank Coach Trailer and Coach I for doing that. I also just want to thank my family again. They've always been there for me. When I was 2,000 miles away in Spartanburg, South Carolina, they're all the way back in Los Angeles, California. They were always checking in on me day after day, seeing how everything was going, and they made that distance not feel as great as it would have been if they weren't there. So I really want to thank you guys for that. As far as everybody else in the athletic office, Ms. Rapp, I want to thank you for helping me stay eligible, because there were some times there that it didn't look like it was going to happen, but the academics at Wofford are a little bit challenging, and sometimes when you put a lot of focus on your athletic career, you kind of forget about the academics, but I really want to thank you for doing that. I appreciate that. And then, once again, I just want to say thank you to the Wofford community. That Southern Conference one we had in 2007, that was really special. And I don't think we would have been able to do it if we didn't have that support from the Wofford family coming down to Charleston and supporting us and rooting us on. We got hot at the right time, but I don't think we would have gotten hot and stayed hot if it weren't for y'all coming down and supporting us through those 5 days in May. So I really appreciate that, and I want to thank everybody once again for being here. Thank you.
Gilly talked about everybody coming down to the tournament back in 07, and you know, I was a basketball guy. So Steve's out there coaching, Todd's coaching, and I got Mark Line, the baseball guy, with me. And I learned you had to sit in a certain place, and then you had to stay there every day. You could not leave that because of karma. And then when things weren't going so well, then you had to move because of karma. And so I got yelled at more times during that tournament, and I thought, you know, Gilly saved me by striking out that last guy, because they accused me of messing around and messing with the karma. But baseball's a different sport. Our next honoree is Jared Singleton. I'll call on our retired football coach Mike Ayers. And as Mike comes up, Jared, there's double pressure on you today because you've got your former boss and your current boss, Harold Chandler, here.
Jared, where are you? That's a joke. Jared's a big man. Jared's always been a big man. First time that I met him, he came on a visit and came for a game. And the very first thing that I did when I introduced myself to him was to stick my hand out and shake his hand. If any of you don't understand Jared, one thing you better understand is this: you don't want to shake his hand. He's got a hand on him like that, and it's like I felt like that somebody had put my hand in a pair of channel locks and squeezed the fool out of it. Jared, I love you. I'm proud of you, and I want you to know that this is an honor for me to have an opportunity to say a few things about you. He's a great guy. He is. He was a great guy when he got here, and he was a great man when he left. And he was the consummate team player, teammate, and he was the guy that when times got tough, he was not going to back down, slow down, stay down, or lay down. He was going to fight the fight. And I truly, truly believe that if at the end of his senior year, if he would have had a shot and somebody would have brought him to camp, I think he could have played at that next level, that dream level. But life didn't deal him those cards. He went out into the real world and is doing great things. I'll tell you a story about him, and this may be rumor. This, I'm getting old, I'm retired, my mind's not quite as sharp as it used to be. Matter of fact, my mind was never sharp, but it's one of those deals where I heard this story, and the story dealt with several of our offensive linemen going to CC's Pizza. Well, if you know anything about CC's Pizza, they give you that all-you-can-eat deal. Well, as those guys got in there and kind of got relaxed and hunkered down and ready to grub, the manager, he said, uh-oh. Uh-oh. So after about 45 minutes of munching and brunching and digging in, the manager finally said, hey, these cats are eating me out of house and home. So he went up and he said, excuse me, I think you guys have had enough. And the way the story went, I think Jared was the leader, and he said, well, we're just getting started. And so the manager came back later, and I think he gave the guys 6 pizzas to go. And so, they went out the door just happy as they could be. That may be a rumor, I'm not sure. What kind of player was he? He was the guy that you could count on. Statistically, you can read his stats. He was a guy that was a tough guy. He was a guy that would knock your face off. But that's the way that the game is. He was a guy that when times got tough, when it was 4th and whatever, Coach Lang called him to play, 4th down and 5. He knew, and we knew, that it had to be one of those plays that were going to involve him as far as at the point of attack. He played at a high level every time that he came to work. Every day since when he started to when he finished his last rep for Wofford College, he was the guy. He was the guy that laid it on the line. He was the guy that when times got tough, looked to him. I believe in him. I love him to death. He's got a $1 million smile. And the thing that I know is I've been blessed way, way, way beyond whatever I could have blessed him with. Come on up, big guy. It's your time.
Thank you, Coach Ayers. I really appreciate that. That rumor is true. We had a group called the 1200s, and it was a group of offensive linemen that we had to weigh over 300 pounds to be a part of that group. And we would go once a week, whether it was Sun King Chinese or whether it was CC's Pizza, you name it, we were there. But, yeah, so I'm sorry about that. I first want to give all the honor and glory to God and our Savior, Lord Jesus Christ, for just blessing me with the talent, the ability, the platform to be able to play this great game of football. I think that, I know that without him, none of this would be possible. I also want to thank the Hall of Fame Committee, the Board of Directors, President Sandhat, you and your family have been fantastic. Also, the Wofford Athletic Department, Coach Richard Johnson, you know, when I got a call from Richard, you know, Richard doesn't call you all the time. So when I looked and I picked up the phone and he said, hey, this is Richard. I said, oh man, you know, did my check bounce for the Terrier Club? I didn't know that, I was like, you gotta wait till 15, you know, because, but he said, no, the check cleared, trust me. So I was like, woo, you know, but, you know, when he broke the news to me, it really was a blessing. And the first thing I thought about was my coaches, Coach Ayers, Coach Lang, Coach Nash, who took a chance on a guy from Louisville, South Carolina. I also thought about the trainers, the strength and conditioning coaches that we had that prepared and got us ready each and every week to be the best that we could be every Saturday. But I definitely want to thank the coaches, personally, Coach Nash, Coach Lane, Coach Ayers for believing in me and giving me a shot. Also want to thank all our trainers, thank the people in the front office, our camera crews, equipment guys. They really make sure that Wofford College is a first-class Tier 1 program, and we're doing a fantastic job, and the next level is very bright for us. I also want to thank my teammates, a lot of them who are here, Phil, CJ, Blake, Mike, Brian, you know, you guys have, you know, you guys are my roommates. They made me look good on Saturday. They made sure that when I needed that extra push to get going, to get motivated, they were definitely there. But once again, special thanks to my offensive line, my running backs and skill players, and of course, my left guard, number 75, Ty Gregory, who was here. You know, Ty, me and Ty go way back, and you know, I used to want to replicate Ty. Ty had a great energy, great enthusiasm on the field. He knew what everyone on the offense and what the defense was doing. And early in my career, I wasn't on that level, but I would watch him on film, and I would want to get in better shape. I would want to spend time in the meeting room so I could understand the game the way he did. And you know, even though I'm going into the Hall of Fame, you know, Ty has something that I don't have, and something I can't ever get. And that is a touchdown during the game. Our senior year, Ty scored a touchdown against Sanford, and Ty and I are really close, so I feel like I scored as well. We celebrated so hard because he was celebrating and I was celebrating, and we were like, because that's the offensive lineman's dream. I would beg Coach Lane to let me run the ball, William Perry style on the goal line, but Coach Lane even teased me, and we ran a practice play one time, and I said, this is my week, but it never happened. So, but, Ty, was definitely, like I said, a role model and someone I wanted to replicate my game. He did score a touchdown in the game, and that was just awesome. But, every time I took the field as a freshman until my last snap against Furman as a senior, Ty was there. He was always beside me for 4 years. And when we won championships, I embraced him. When we lost our last game against Furman, we embraced. And, the tears and things and emotions that I had, happy or sad, all those things came when I was with Ty. Every time I stepped on the field, Ty was there. Every time we won, Ty was there. Every time we lost, Ty was there. Every time I went to Krispy Kreme or the Beacon, Ty was there. But I really want to use this platform to thank two people, my mom and my dad, who are here today. My parents from day one, Pee Wee football, have been my biggest fans and supporters. My dad never missed a game in Pee Wee, middle school, or high school. He took me to my first college football game, which was Kentucky versus South Carolina. I was about 10, 11 years old. We sat pretty high up, and I remember telling my dad and hearing 80,000 people screaming and hollering and cheering. I said, Dad, I want that. I want to feel that. And my dad told me at a young age, he said, son, if you want those things, you can accomplish them, but you're going to have to train, you're going to have to work out, you're going to have to change your game, change who you are to be at a high level. And I told him that I was going to do that. And it's funny how life plays out, because fast forward to 2012, we're now playing South Carolina at South Carolina. He's sitting on the front row watching his son play on the field that he first took him to. To me, that's a funny way how life plays out. And he told me that a long time ago that if I want to be a college athlete, he broke down the statistics of maybe 1 or 2 guys on every high school team may have a shot. But he gave me the courage, he gave me inspiration, he gave me the tools of my foundation, my character, so I can go out there and have the support and know that I can be successful. And hopefully now as a father, I can do the same thing for my son. And then of course my mother. My mom has always instilled in me from a young age to strive for excellence in everything that I did. From a teenager, from cleaning my room to cleaning the kitchen or cutting the grass or whatever chores or things that she may have given me, she always told me to strive for excellence, to never settle for just mediocre, but to strive to be great. And I remember I asked her one time, I said, Mom, why is it always striving for excellence? And she told me that what you're doing is building your integrity, building your character, building who you are as an individual, building your brand. And if your brand is to strive for excellence in everything that you do, whether it's academics, whether it's athletics, whether it's being social, so in the community, whatever the case may be, you will position yourself to always be successful. Well, that sounds like you walked away. So of course, when Coach Ayers and Coach Nash came to visit, I said, the principles and the things and the morals of Wofford College are the same principles and morals that I grew up with. So I knew Wofford was home. But my mom sacrificed so much for me. She always made sure I had the best, always made sure that I was well-mannered, well-dressed, and well-spoken. My mom has always been a leader of example of how to be and who to be as an individual and as a human being. And so even though I'm going to the Hall of Fame, Mom and Dad, this really is for you guys, for all you sacrificed and all you've given me. I love you. I thank you. Go Terriers.
Thank you, Jared. And now, while you're standing up, co-chairs, we'll bring you back up as we induct Alvin Scioneaux.
Wow. Wow, it's going to be tough to follow. Alvin Scioneaux. Yes. Sometimes known as Smooth. Alvin is from Garyville, Louisiana. Anybody know what Garyville is except for that crew over there? Story on that. We're looking at film, and in this time and this era, if you wanted to hunt players in the islands, Hawaii, if you wanted to find a player in Tonga, you could get him on film, huddle film. And one day I was watching this film, and I got the film, and there was a note in it, and the last name was Scioneaux. I didn't know how to pronounce Scioneaux. There's so many letters in there and stuff like that, and I said, like, this guy is Alvin S. And so I watched the film, and this was a player. I checked his academics before I even delved into the film because I didn't want to waste my time. He was an outstanding student. And I watched the film, and it's the third play of the game. He's an outside linebacker playing defense, and all of a sudden he rushes the passer. Well, it happened to be a draw play. Am I losing you? Okay. So they handed it to the back. Alvin had already gotten up about 5 yards up the field to contain the passer. He was getting ready to sack the quarterback. But it was a deal to where the guy had a head start on him. And all of a sudden, I see this guy, Alvin S., start chasing the ball. And the back was fast. But Alvin caught him. And I said, wow. I said, man, that's a great effort right there. Later on in the game, same deal. He's knocking people around. He's sacking the quarterback. They try to draw again. It breaks again. He chases it down again. I told all the guys, I said, I don't care if he can do anything else. We'll teach him what he's got to know, but the effort that he showed, can't teach that. You can't teach it. And so I took a trip to Garyville. And it seemed like it took a while to get to Garyville. And I'm talking about after we landed. And so I'm going down there, and I'm going down there to meet Alvin in school. And the thing that I didn't quite understand was his mother, I hope you don't get mad, but the best way I can describe her, she's a piece of work. Yes. So I go in there, they call Alvin to the office, and then all of a sudden Alvin's there, and here comes Mom. And she says, you here to recruit my son? And I said, yes, ma'am. She said, well, I'm going to have to talk to you. So she grilled me for about an hour. And she was asking about the academics. She was asking about all the important things. She was asking about what kind of culture is it? What kind of environment is it? What kind of place is it that I'm going to send my son to? And I said, it's the real deal. I said, I promise you, we'll do the best we can do every day for Alvin, and in return, we expect Alvin to do the best he can do every day for Wofford and for his family and for himself. Long story short, we signed. Next thing you know, he's a short-haired dog, and the next thing you know, that same desire, that same intensity, that same fight, it was out there on the field. Now, Alvin was one of those guys that let his play do the talking. He was kind of low-key, kind of quiet and stuff like that, but every now and then, he'd wake up the echo, if you knew what I meant. And very talented, very talented. All-conference guy, like Jared. All-American, like Jared. Great parents, like Jared. And I've grown to love his whole family because, you know, when you have these guys for 4 years, it's personal. It's personal to the core. And these guys, all they are, they're just an extension of my family. The last thing that I asked Alvin when we were recruiting, I said, are you willing to take a challenge? He goes, oh yeah. Because he's smooth. And I said, and I'm thinking to myself, so I kind of pushed him again, and I said, you ready for this challenge? I said, this is not Easy Street. This is Wofford College, 429 North Church Street. There's no easy. Do you understand? Yes, sir. Yes, sir, we ready. We ready. And you know what? He was ready. You know what? Again, another blessing in my life. Come on up, Alvin.
Thank you, Coach Eric.
Yes, sir.
I like the excitement. Also, I want to first thank God first and foremost. He blessed me in more ways than one. Without him, I really couldn't do all of this. I also thank the Hall of Fame committee of voters for allowing me to enter into this prestigious brotherhood as well, honored. So there are two core communities that I also would like to thank. My speech will be all about thank yous because this I probably had one of the least inputs as far as me coming this far. So my first community will be my Louisiana community. Take right here, like low, hold it down. Starting off with my dad, he's definitely a great man and instilled everything you can ever ask for in a father. And from hard work to taking care of your family to mindset to be able to handle basically anything to being good with your hands, being able to present value in any and every situation or group that you're in. One particular story about my dad, he was an All-American wrestler. So in high school, so he actually won state as a high school wrestler. So, as I was growing up, he thought he still had it, you know. I was a little kid, you know, he started wrestling me probably when I was, you know, 6, 7-ish. He used to always, okay, yeah, I got you, you know, just put me in a little different mood. I could never get out of it. Like, okay, I'm just like this. All right, I give up, tap out. And then, you know, I slowly started playing football, and junior high came around. Started lifting a little bit more weight, you know, high school comes around. Actually, okay, I'm putting on size now, you know, I'm lifting 225, and I'm getting right. So he figured, he seen me one day, like, okay, I'm gonna put him in some little scorpion move, whatever he's doing. So he tried to grab me one time, and you know, I got a good foundation. I learned from the 100 losses I took before. And I kind of just threw him across the room. And he was like, all right, son, you're good with my book. He never tried to wrestle me again. Lesson learned, you know, stay right in the weight room. My mother, like Coach Harris was saying, you know, he said a piece of work. But, I mean, I don't think there's any word in the dictionary that she cannot exemplify in some type of way. My number one fan, my agent, my publicist, my promoter, you know, I could go on and on down the list. She definitely brings the excitement to our family. She definitely brings that hard work and just, you know, taking any situation and making the most of it, making it blossom. You know, she's the one person where she just went to my little brother's orientation. He's at La Tech, and the faculty at La Tech knew her name over all of the incoming students and parents. Like this one parent, I know her. The faculty addressed everybody. Okay, like, you know, hey, Miss Scioneaux, what's up, man? Like, how do you know these people already? This guy here. But that's basically how she is and everything that she does. So I definitely appreciate her for that. Also, you know, the rest of the Scioneaux, the Snyders, the Israels, definitely appreciate all that you have brought to me just growing up, keeping me on the right way, staying out of trouble, making sure that I take care of the little things on a day-to-day basis, which catapulted me to where I am now. So I definitely would not be here without that guidance. So for that, I appreciate you all. My second community I would like to thank is, of course, the Wofford community. Thank you for the opportunity. From Coach Ayers, like he talked about our first interaction, he was saying, like, oh, you ready to be here? I'm like, I mean, I'm busy right now. I can I'll check it out and see how I get back to you on that. And like he was saying, he kind of begged the issue, like, this is going to be a hard place, but it's not some easy go around school. You have to apply yourself in academics, athletics, and, you know, and so on. I'm like, do you want me to come or not? I told you, I'm going to get back to you. So that was, I thought he was trying to scare me away from coming. Like, you were trying to recruit me, right? But that was definitely a fun time with Coach Harris all the time. Also thank the rest of the coaching staff, Coach Woody, Coach Fuqua, my defensive coordinator position coach. They definitely taught me a lot of things. Thank Ms. Tracy, my godmother at Wofford. She always there when my mom wasn't there, so appreciate her for that. Thank my teammates. You know, basically the whole back section on those three tables. They definitely hold it down from the apartments to the road to, you know, whatever we at. We always having fun. They know. Thank the equipment staff. You know, I stayed in the equipment room getting some fresh gear, so shout out to the equipment people. But you know, overall, wrapping things up, I would not be able to. Both communities played a part in me, you know, becoming an All-American athlete, professional athlete in the NFL, CFL, majoring in physics and math here at Wofford, to getting my master's in engineering and working in various engineering fields from aerodynamic and mechanical. They've always taught me, both communities always taught me to, you know, stand for something or fall for anything. Live by example and be great in the little things. And you know, if you take a step toward greatness every single day, at the end of the year you have 365 steps of greatness. At the end of 5 years, 10 years, you have even a million plus steps towards greatness, which will then have you be in a great position to be great, you know, and that's one thing that both communities taught me very well, and are the reasons for all of my accomplishments. So I definitely appreciate you all for that. Appreciate the induction and the plaque. And like Coach Harris said, the effort was the one thing that I guess kind of set me apart on the field, in which I continue to strive and live towards today. So I appreciate that. Thank you for the honor. God bless.
Thank you, Alvin. Our next honoree, Howard Wilkerson, class of 2006, could not be with us today. Howard was back this summer, and fortunately, he thought he'd be able to be here, but he was called back. He's still playing professional. He does have a video. His parents are here from Edenton, North Carolina. And this one's kind of bittersweet for me, because Howard was a great player, just a terrific player and a wonderful human being. And he was one of those things as you transition in life. Mike and I worked together for 13 years as a coach of basketball, and Howard was the last one we signed together. And unfortunately, I didn't get an opportunity to coach him. And I didn't really get a thank you from Coach Young either. So I hope that Coach Young, in his speech, at least recognizes my role. Mike Young, talk about Howard Wilkerson.
Thanks, Coach, for Howard. I got a call from Howard 2 weeks ago saying he was going back to South America. The team that he had played for earlier had picked him up in the playoffs, and I thought, I wish I could pick Howard up for the playoffs multiple times. He was awesome. I'd like to recognize his mom and dad, Pearl and Howard Sr. They are wonderful people, and so supportive of their son during his time at Wofford, supportive of me as a young head coach. And I appreciate you. And they still come to games to this day. We'll be in Greensboro. There's a quick drive from Eden, and it's always a treat to see them, and a pleasure to have you here today. Here's Howard Wilkerson. He's 35 now. He's a big man. And Howard still comes back every summer. Every summer he comes back to Wofford to work our camp. Camp is not the most glamorous of roles or things for young people to do, or a 35-year-old to do. But he comes back because he enjoyed his time here. He loved this college. He enjoyed our basketball program. He appreciates the education that he received here. To be able to walk into that locker room as a first-year head coach, and there he is, and to this day, you know, a long time, 17 years later, it is still Howard that we talk about. I still mention his name with our staff. You know, he wasn't a 6'10" giant, but he was a 6'6" 6'7" long arms from tip to tip, 7'2" from arm to arm. Big as a bear. Coach talked about Jared's hands. Howard has a hand like a grizzly bear. Unbelievable hands. A very good football player in high school, if I recall, tight end, defensive end. But I remember vividly on so many occasions during his career playing the likes of Clemson, Georgia Tech, Auburn, Miami, Tennessee, and putting together numbers, 28 points, 13 rebounds, 27 points, 16 rebounds, on and on and on. And it was Jim Larinaga, exceptional coach at Miami for the Hurricanes, and he stopped me after the game. He was right. He said Wilkerson was the best front court player on the floor tonight. And Mike, I'm not so sure that he wasn't the best player on the floor tonight. And that Miami team had 2 kids picked in the draft that particular year. He used that big, wide body and those long arms. It was like a battering ram with the ball out in front of him with those long arms and backing himself into the post with his head and eyes up. Anything comes at him, exceptional passion, throwing the thing out of there. And you turn around, he's at the rim level. Now he's competing against, you know, the SEC and the ACC. That's 6'10", 260. Those are big people. And Howard would have their way with him. He was he had a couple of setbacks in his time here, injury-wise, and I'll never forget. I thought we were starting to make a little progress during his sophomore year. Just a nothing play. It was just a simple right-to-left crossover dribble in Ben Johnson Arena against the Citadel, January 6, 2003. And there was a little tweak in his knee, and he, I noticed he was a tad hobbled when he came over. We had him looked at. It was a meniscus tear, and had to go in and get it taken care of. His mom and dad came down, and we went over to Heron Circle. I had a 3-year-old boy with me, my son. We went over to Heron Circle and to check on him, and he's discouraged. I'm discouraged. We're going to get him back soon enough, but it's something that happens in college athletics. As hard as it is, as bad as it is, and I'll never forget getting back in the car and strapping my 3-year-old into that car seat yet again, and there's a little voice behind me says, "Dad, without Howard, how are we going to beat anybody?" That's a heck of a question. Let me be honest with you. He was wonderful. He was wonderful to coach. He was a very accomplished student here, a very fine citizen here. I am thrilled to have the opportunity to introduce Howard Wilkerson into this year's Hall of Fame. He was a dandy. Thank you.
Hello everyone. They came out to the ceremony today. First I would like to say I'm truly honored to be a part of a prestigious group as is the Wofford Athletics Hall of Fame. It's been a long time coming. I didn't think I would ever get in. I thought I didn't care, but once I got that call from Coach Johnson, I was extremely emotional about it. I was happy, and I'm so glad to be a part of the Wofford Athletic Hall of Fame. There's so much goes into it. First and foremost, I would like to thank my Lord and Savior, because without Him, none of this would be possible. The faith I have in Him and some of the things I've been through over my life, without His help, without His guidance, I wouldn't be where I am. Next, I would like to thank my family. My family is truly a big part of where I am now. My mother and father were always there for me, coming to games, making sure I needed what I needed. We didn't have a lot, but I never needed for anything. So I want to thank them, and they're a big reason why I have the work ethic I have now. They worked extremely hard to provide for me and my sisters, even though we didn't have a lot, and I'm extremely proud of them, and I'm extremely thankful to them. Also to my friends, they were instrumental in some of the things that I have done, especially through my college years. They were good to me, and my church family. My pastor, he was always ear for me when I needed to call him, when I needed to talk to him. He always there to talk. Also, I want to thank my teammates. Also, My teammates were great for me, always instilling in me confidence. And of course, passing me the ball. And because, the art of the post feed is really gone, and there's a lot of guys that gave me the ball and let me do my work. And lastly, and definitely not least, I have give a big thank you to Michael Young. Michael Young took a chance on a undersized big man from Eden, North Carolina. I went up to Fork Union, and he went up and he came up and watched me practice, talked to me. The only Division I offer I had, and I took it, and it's the best decision I've ever made. He has taught me a lot of things. His first year as a head coach was my freshman year, and I learned a lot under his tutelage. He also instilled in me the need to work hard, to enhance your game, and utmost importance was being a great person. One thing he did for me is when I was in France, they told me I couldn't play anymore. I shouldn't play basketball anymore, and I called him hysterically crying, and he was there to calm me down and told me, he told me to come on home and we'll figure it out. And he did that. He did that for me. He's a great guy, and the fondest memory I'll have of Coach Young is one that one night on his front porch, he called me to his front porch, and I had been playing well, averaging about 23 and 12 against ACC and SEC competition. And I guess I was feeling myself, and I disrespected one of our assistant coaches. And he sat me down and he said, you're gonna have to apologize to him. If you don't apologize to him, we're gonna find you somewhere else to play. And at that point, I knew he had the bigger picture in mind, and not only basketball wise, but me as a man. And I appreciate him for that. But in closing, again, this is an extreme honor for me. Right now, I'm in Uruguay. I've been all over the world playing. I've won championships, MVPs, finals MVPs, but this right here, this tops them all, man. This is the greatest accomplishment of my life, to be a part of the Wofford College Athletic Hall of Fame. Thank you, and God bless. Go Dogs.
Go ahead, Mike. If you stay standing, Mike will bring this over to you. Thank you. Mr. Lopez. Thank you. We also, in addition to our honorees, we have two very special awards that the Hall of Fame Committee awards annually. The Distinguished Service Award and the Honorary Lettermen Award. Both are very special. They're a recognition of individuals who have performed exemplary service or deserve honor and recognition by the Hall of Fame Committee. Our first honorary award is the Honorary Lettermen Award. And it goes to someone who is most deserving, someone who has been a stalwart here at Wofford for years and years. And to make this presentation to Charlie Jones, class of 1973, we're going to ask one of our volleyball alums, Ashley Phillips Case, to do the honors. Ashley?
Good afternoon to everyone. I want to clarify that I'm an old volleyball alum. When I played, you were not that good. You didn't have to be that good to come and play. So they would offer girls basketball scholarships and tell them they had to play volleyball. So, but I was not one of the basketball people. So, and one other little tidbit: Coach Ayers coached me or taught me tennis in PE in probably 1982, 81, 82. And if somebody, it was 8 o'clock in the morning, and if somebody would go to the cafeteria before tennis, and we were serving bacon, we all got to skip tennis and go eat breakfast. So that was a nice perk in his class. So I'm here to introduce Charlie Jones as an honorary Wofford Letterman. And it's nice to hear, and I want to congratulate, I'm going to put this. I want to congratulate all of the Hall of Fame inductees today, and it's so refreshing to hear you acknowledge that people like Charlie Jones contributed and are the reason for you being here. I want to thank you for what you've given us over the years and allowing us to watch you grow and develop and play, and the enjoyment we've had in watching you participate. But I thank you for also recognizing people like Charlie Jones in the Wofford community. So Charlie Jones is a 1973 graduate of Wofford College. He went on to University of South Carolina School of Law, where he graduated in 1976. He returned to Spartanburg, where he practiced law, probably practiced for about 30 years, before becoming Judge Jones in 2009. He has been serving as a Spartanburg County Magistrate since that time, and is the Associate Chief Magistrate in Spartanburg. I'm a little younger than Charlie, just a little, and I don't have any Wofford stories. I reached out to some people, and I'm not going to tell any stories. You can take with that what you want. It either means Charlie was very well behaved, or there were not any appropriate anecdotes to share. So I'm just going to let you make that judgment. But I first met Charlie when I returned to Spartanburg in '88 and began practicing law here. And as a young lawyer, you're nervous, you're scared. I was at Butler Means, which was right next to where Charlie practiced. And Spartanburg Bar is one of the most friendliest bar associations, I think, in South Carolina. I have my most fond memories of practicing law here for 13 years. And reasons for that are people like Charlie. He was always welcoming, always kind, always had a smile on his face, always willing to help, giving you an opinion or some advice that helped you be a better person and a better lawyer. And I thank you for that. So that's where I met Charlie. So Charlie, like me, has seen Wofford evolve over the years. He has watched Wofford participate in Andrews Fieldhouse, Benjamin Johnson Arena, and then now the state-of-the-art Jerry Richardson Indoor Stadium. He's watched games at Snyder Field and Hill Stadium. He's been to Duncan Park and Russell King Field. Wherever Wofford's playing, Charlie has been there since before 1978. I think 1978 is when you returned back to the community. He has been an avid Wofford College supporter financially. He has been a member of the Terrier Club, and I don't believe that he has missed, and Terry Willett has his document, I'm sure. I don't believe he's missed contributing financially to the Terrier Club since 1978. So that is an amazing accomplishment, considering what you're coming out in the debt, that you're coming out to as a young, practicing attorney or a young professional anywhere, to make that commitment and stick with it. He has been not only a Wofford supporter with regard to his finances and being a spectator, but he's also been an incredible volunteer. I'm sure most of you in this room, I would think, remember before the Terrier Ball and auction, there were those photons that we all had to do. Charlie has been a participant in all of those activities to help raise money to scholarship these athletes that we so enjoy watching develop, not only as athletes, but as human beings. He and his wife Betsy have 2 children, Charlotte and Erica, and Charlotte is a 2000 graduate of Wofford College. That's probably why you're still working. You're still paying that off. Me too. I have 2 kids that finished here. I can't imagine anyone more deserving than Charlie of this Honorary Lettermen's Award. We have the benefit of parking next to Charlie in the Grand lot, so every Saturday that we have a home game, we get to see him arrive at the stadium and witness his excitement and his unwavering support for his Terriers. And we thank you for everything you've done and given to this college.
They put up this industrial strength ramp over here, and I'll try it later. When I arrived, I wasn't paying any attention to the program or anything like that, and when I was about 2/3 of the way through lunch, I looked over and I saw that Ashley was going to introduce me, and I said, she's sitting next to my sister. This cannot be good. This cannot be good. Or with the Cokers, because Tom and I go back to our freshman year here in 1969. One of the things I wanted to, but actually, you learned a lot. I mean, actually, when she first came back, was worked here in Spartanburg before she moved to practice over to Greenville. But you studied up a little bit, so thank you very much. And one of the things I wanted to echo, Jared Singleton, I was sitting in my office on Friday afternoon. My cell phone was right here. And it was about 4:15 on a Friday afternoon, and it was the first weekend the Panthers were in town. And the phone rang, and it said, Richard Johnson. Is this the kind of thing you experienced here when you went to the check bounce? Well, Friday afternoon is not a good time to be hearing from Richard, because everybody's usually winding things down. And so I kind of looked at it and I said, okay, let's see what this is. And his voice was very upbeat. He was happy. I was thinking, well, good. Maybe nothing's happened. And he told me about the Hall of Fame committee choosing me to be the Honorary Lettermen. And when Jared said he had that same trip, I bet you didn't know you had that effect on people when you called them up. But one of the things that I noticed is Wilkerson was saying he graduated in '06, and he looked forward to this day for a very long time. And I thought, well, I've been, graduated in '73. That's 33 years before he did. So it was a little bit of a gap. I got Jason and Jamaica Hill over here, Harold Chandler, my classmate Tom Bauer, Al Clark, and Billy Mitchell a couple years behind me. These guys they're all great fellows that we've hung out together. Him and Medlock somewhere. Where did he leave? Oh, he's over here on this side. Okay. So we've known each other. We're going way back, along with Judge Henry Floyd here, who's with us. But one of the things I think that we older guys have got is an appreciation of people and an appreciation of place. And I think that the younger guys coming through will see that as you get older, as you go through your life, and as you see things develop. My dad came to Wofford on the GI Bill after World War II. He did not graduate. He went on into work. My uncle graduated from Wofford before World War II and then went into World War II. My wife's dad attended Wofford just before World War II. And when he was a student here on a blind date, outside of what I think is now the Daniel Hall, met his soon-to-be wife and my wife's mother. So a lot of things have happened in our family on this campus. My cousin, Lance Bridgman over here, he was an 81 graduate. To show that this thing keeps going, his son Ben is beside him, and he's going to be a graduate this May. So, in 2019 graduate. So you tend to really appreciate this place, and you tend to appreciate the people that you know and that you've met here, because as like Tom Coker, they're the guys that, you know, we've been practicing since 1976, and we probably talk to each other 5 days a week. Still do. When I got out of law school, came back, there was a fellow that took a big risk on me, and that was State Senator Howard Smith, himself a Wofford graduate, and his daughter Cindy is married to one of my best buds, Bob Holland, and Cindy's here. Cindy's a class of 76. So my cousin Lance is 81. My sister Beth, the one that I hope didn't tell Ashley too much, because, but anyway, her daughter was the class of 2008. And I think that we just, a number of people coming through. But this place becomes more special to you every year. I can't say as I really appreciated it that much when I graduated, because it was just that 4 years you got to get through to get to law school. But we've tried to pass that on, kind of like pay it forward. One fellow that's kind of, Ashley was touching on it, a fellow who was always very busy. You know, you got to have two things for any program to be successful. You have to have the major donors, the people who really sink the money in to do a lot of things. But you also need a small army of people who can who just do things. And Bobby Ivy, who some of you may or may not know, was a guy who was always thinking of things to do. And he, one time, when they built the Benjamin Johnson Arena, it didn't have the best floor. I don't know if some of you think they were going to try out. And it didn't work. And so Bobby made it his mission to purchase a new floor, a parquet floor, like the Boston Celtics used. And I believe he promoted it as the same manufacturer. And he enlisted a few of us to help him raise about $50,000, and that was a successful project. He also had a project where when the teams were here on campus and the food services was closed, you would say, look, can you feed the football team? Can you feed the basketball team? And we'd say, sure. So we've had breakfast at home, breakfast at restaurants, and that went on for years. I don't know what the NCAA rules on that are today, but I don't know if they'd smile on that or not. But, one of the other things that we did was, and Richard was still the coach, was we wanted to take the basketball team to the Piedmont Club. And we tried the schedule, and the only day that we could pull this off was March the 3rd. Now, I know March the 3rd probably doesn't mean a whole lot to you, but it's my wife's birthday. So I came home and I said, Betsy, we're going to the Piedmont Club for your birthday. And she said, great. I said, with a Wofford basketball team. Yes. So I made that comment, and John McGinnis, who was, I believe, the captain of the team in the center, at some point at dinner brought the basketball team over to sing happy birthday to her, and everything worked out just fine. So, but also, I'm going to tell you a story that involves Mr. Chad Starks over here. Chad was a 2016 inductee into the Hall of Fame. And Mike, I may get the details wrong on this, but we're at the Wofford Citadel football game in Charleston. Citadel would never come up and play in Spartanburg. We always had to go down to Charleston. Sean Graves is the quarterback. The Charleston media, they're pretty excited about this because it looks like for the first time in 48 years, Wofford might win the game. So there was a lot of excitement. And we get down to the last 60 seconds. I believe we've kicked the field goal, scored a touchdown. What was it, Jay? Scored a touchdown, Wofford's up 15-12. 60 seconds to go in the game. This looks like this is going to be a great day for Wofford people. We kick off. All you got to do is knock that guy down. Well, the Citadel had other plans. This fellow just kept running and running and running, and he just got like 3 or 4 blue helmets around him. you're just looking at the end zone, there's nothing. No impediment to him getting there. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, comes a gold helmet. Guy's wearing number 4, he knocks him out of bounds. But what yard line was it?
It was inside the 20.
Inside the 20. So they're already pretty much in field goal position. First play from scrimmage, I remember I said, good Lord, who's that number 4? And somebody's looking through a program. They go, Chad Starks. I said, okay. They run a play to the left, and again, number 4 stuffs this guy about 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. They're going backwards. The third play was a pass that was deflected, and so, the time is getting less and less. They still it was kind of a bit of a reminder of what happened last Saturday. They got 4 shots at this thing, and the third play, the quarterback comes back to pass to the right. There are 2 blue helmets in the end zone. There's nobody around them. The ball's in the air. And again, suddenly, out of nowhere, comes a gold helmet, number 4. By this time, I know who this kid is. And he intercepts the ball, runs it back to about the 40. The win is secured. Wofford people in Charleston are just kind of really rubbing it in on anybody wearing blue. Some of the waiters and the restaurants didn't want to wait on us when we go out to eat. It was a heady day. I went down on the field, congratulated Chad, didn't think I'd ever see him again. But about 6 months later, I get a call from Coach Ayers. He says, Charlie, I need a favor. I said, what? He's got a kid up here who wants to stay for the summer. He needs a summer job to be able to do that. And I said, Mike, I don't think I can do it. I got a Wofford student already working for me. I'm kind of a one-man operation. And I said, I'll try to help you find somebody that could do it. And kind of as an afterthought, I said, what's the kid's name? He said, Chad Starks. I said, oh man, you could have told me anybody else other than that. But I had 3 other Wofford partners, Horace Smith, Mike Duncan, who played football here, and Dick Welch. So I made the rounds, and everybody said, sure, bring him on in. So what was going to be a summer job actually turned into a 2.5 year that Chad worked for us. We did give him time off to play football for his other 2 years. And that was a great relationship. It's just been building, and Chad's got his doctorate. He's got his main offices for his company up in Virginia, just opened up an office here in Greenville. But, and 2 years ago, he called me up and said, Charlie, they're going to put me in the Hall of Fame. So when Richard called me, my next call was to Chad. That's going to put me in the Hall of Fame. So, but during this time, he brought Will Hunter into work with us. Will was a running back, I believe. And we most recently had Hunter Rendon, who was a running back here, who's worked with me. Probably over the years, I've had about 50 Wofford students who worked with me in my office in one capacity or another. And they've all just been quality people, done well. That's what you'll see for you. I mean, there's this gap between the 2013 and the 2006 and the 2013 guys in class of 73. But you'll see this over the years. As you get older, you'll certainly learn to appreciate those men and women that you've known here, and you'll appreciate this place. And in closing, well, there's two. This is kind of I take a little credit for this. The veranda lot. Everybody wanted to park there when they built the Gibbs Stadium, but nobody sat down there. And they always made this announcement in Gibbs Stadium, you can't smoke or drink in there. And I asked Danny Morrison one day, I said, would you mind, Terry, if I took a chair and sat down in the veranda and sat down behind a goalpost, if I bring my own lounge chair, my own cooler of beer, and my cigars? And he said, I think you can do that. Well, it wasn't too much longer until people were saying, do you mind if I sit with you? And I said, I don't know the place, you can come on down. And we started getting a nice little group. Well, you can tell that there are people who are paying attention to things like this, because it wasn't too terribly long before the veranda line became a place that could also seat about another 1,000, not seat, but have about another 1,000 people have tailgate and have a lot of fun. And that's, I take credit for that, Richard. I don't know if it's deserved or not. But I mean, it's a heck of an honor to be associated with the other folks that have already been inducted into the Hall of Fame and are coming in on this round, and this mysterious committee who selects the Hall of Famers. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. I asked Richard and Coach Ayers and Coach, or one of the other coaches, I said, there were some other things, and they said, yeah, but that's classified.
Charlie, in spite of them telling you not to, you got to drink and smoke and pay off for it. Thank you, Charlie. Our last honoree is someone we're all familiar with. Talmage Skinner, class of 1956. There's only one Talmage, and he belonged to all of us. It's hard to believe, but in trying to think about what I was going to say about Talmage, I realized I've known Talmage half of my life. He was a mentor, a friend, a confidant, sounding board, and at times a life preserver. Everyone's heard the story about two students walking across campus and looking across the street and seeing two faculty members walking and saying, one turned to the other one and said, who is that? He said, well, that's Reverend Skinner. He's a chaplain. He goes, no, I know Reverend Skinner. Who's the other guy? He said, that's Joel Saint. He's the president. But that was Talmage. People would say, how many Talmage Skinners are there? There's the football Talmage Skinner, the basketball Talmage Skinner, the one that's at the art center, the one that's at the concerts, the one that's at the poetry readings. Talmage was ubiquitous. He was everywhere. And when you talk to him, he would tell you that his ministry was one of presence. And in that, Talmage succeeded, because Talmage literally was at every event, everything, all the time. And just by being around, he was a comfort to people, and always there for somebody to talk to. You know, he welcomed everybody, regardless of your religious affiliation, your faith. He knew no strangers. And he was very tolerant of other people's views. He was a perfect college chaplain. And before games, you know, things Talmage taught me, I would have with my team a moment of silence where they could be introspective, they could use that to think what they wanted to think, or pray how they wanted to pray. And Talmage would delight before a game. Sometimes they'd say, well, what, you know, what's Richard do? You know, what do you think the chances are? And he'd say, Richard doesn't have a prayer. And then he'd just laugh. But that was Talmage. He enjoyed needling you back, and we gave it to him as well, because he was there all the time. I was talking to Mark Line the other day, and Mark was a longtime baseball coach. And he said, you know, and he was talking about, he said, you know, when Talmage first came, you know, we didn't know him. We'd been here a year, and Talmage came that second year. Mark said after a baseball game, he said we'd have that huddle and everybody'd be excited. He said, look at the middle huddle, there's Talmage. He'd be jumping up and down with everybody else. And he said, you know, he was the only guy. Mark and I are old school. We don't believe in motivational coaches. We believe in coaching the teams ourselves. And we didn't let anybody talk to our teams except us and our coaching staff. And the one exception was Talmage. And we went one year we went to Newberry, and I had a very, very young team. And I don't even think Mike was here then. And Talmage said, you know, I don't know that these young guys understand how important this little four rivalry is. He said, do you mind if I talk to the team? I said, absolutely not, Talmage, you go right ahead. And Talmage talked to the team, and he gave a pretty good pregame talk. And we went out and got even more than 20. To a bad Newberry team. And he came back afterwards, I won't ask to do that again. And I said, way ahead of you, Talmage, you ain't doing that again. But he was that kind of guy. He was just a wonderful guy. He was there all the time. You know, they talk about people who would give you the shirt off their backs. Talmage went with us to Pembroke, North Carolina, UNC Pembroke, out in the middle of nowhere. 4 hours. Talmage got on that bus and went with us. And I got there, and when we were traveling, we traveled in warm-ups, and we'd get there, and the coaches would change into our coat and tie. And I started changing my coat and tie, and it dawns, I don't have a belt. Now, there's Talmage. He said, you can have my belt. He takes his belt off, gives me his belt. And it's hard for me, you got to use your imagination now. But if you think back, there was a time when I really couldn't fit in Talmage's belt. And that thing went around me about twice. But I had a belt to hold my pants up for that game, and Talmage didn't blink. There was a time at Furman, and Talmage would always sit at the end of the bench, and the official came up to me, and we're doing all that coaching nonsense, and he turns to me and he kind of points his finger in my face, and he says, you sit the Padre down, or I'm going to stick him. And I look down there, and there's Talmage with the collar on, and he's been chewing on the official a little bit. That was the longest walk down the end of that bench. It was like you had to admonish your father. And you just kind of sheepishly, Talmage, maybe just kind of tone him down a little bit, you know. We really don't need to give up a couple technical files here. But he was just, you know, you had to love that. And then the best one, and I'm not sure Beverly has ever forgiven him for this one. We're down at Presbyterian, and it's a great Presbyterian Wofford game. Mike and I are sitting there, and it was one of those just weird plays where we came back, we got the last shot, Greg Odell took it, missed it, which was a first, and Matt Allen tips it in. And when he tipped it in, it kind of went up and it lingered on the rim, and the horn went off, and it had left his hand. It wasn't even close. But because of the noise, because of the buzzer, when it went through, there was a delay. and the official just froze and thought, well, that must mean the ball didn't get out, wasn't good. Instead of when it left his hand, he was looking at it up at the basket. So we're all excited, we're jumping around on the floor, and everybody's celebrating, Talmage is out there, and all of a sudden, he waves it off. And, I'm like just stunned, and I start, I'm never speechless. I couldn't talk. I had cotton mouth. I was so busy screaming at this guy, I couldn't get words out of my mouth. And Mike grabs me by the coat, and he says, "Coach, get Talmage." And Talmage is out in the middle of the floor. He was celebrating now. He thought the game was over. And Talmage is out in the middle of the floor, and he's trying to go like this, but he's going like this. And so I had to go get Talmage out, pull him back. The officials huddle up, and they wave the basket off. And I got one of them in front of me, and I am just blistering him. I am saying words that thank God Talmage was out on the bench, Beverly, because he wouldn't have appreciated it. But Talmage was right there and supportive, and we ended up winning in overtime. And the official subsequently told me, he said, "Listen, we screwed that up." He said, "You could save yourself a lot of aggravation. You weren't going to lose in overtime." But I didn't know that at the time. But after the game, I was kind of like, "Talmage, I'm sorry. They deserved it." We went out to Air Force to play Air Force in Colorado in 1996, one of our early years, Division I. And Talmage and Beverly went with us. We had a wonderful trip, wonderful time. And we played Air Force on Saturday night in their facility. And their facility is such that the stands would be this way, facing the basketball court. And then the backside would be stands, and they would face the hockey arena. So we were going to practice the next morning. We couldn't get in at Boulder. We were going to practice at Air Force. And so we're back in the gym. And Talmage said, "Would you like me to do a Sunday service?" And I said, "That'd be terrific." And that was one of the most enjoyable church services I've ever been to. And Talmage sat us down. We were all just sitting on the bench where we'd gotten beat the night before. And Talmage just talked. And we had people of every faith, every nationality. We had Christians, Jews, Muslims. And it was one of the most enjoyable services and most meaningful services because of how Talmage approached it and because it was Talmage. And what was really cool about it is Talmage would make a point, and every now and then you could hear the hockey because it was right on the other side of the bleachers. And Talmage would say something, all of a sudden you hear this cheer, and this clapping. And I said, "Good point, Talmage." So, but it was just a great experience. And he would do that as well. We'd go on those faculty staff retreats, and he would do a Sunday service for the faculty and staff on the ocean. And those are some of my most enjoyable memories of Talmage and the things that he did and how he meant so much to all of us. One of the things that, and I pointed out to Talmage's family, right behind me, the words "conquer" and "prevail." They come from our alma mater, and I can't tell you how many times, and Mike and I have talked about this too, Talmage started that tradition of singing the alma mater after games. And it was a great tradition. And when we were in Division II, it was a pretty cool tradition because we won games when we were Division II. And we made that transition to Division I. We won a whole lot of games those first couple of years. So now you've got your ears pinned back, and you're standing out there, you've got to wait and sing the national anthem, or the alma mater. All you want to do is get in the locker room because you're tired of your tail getting kicked. But we did it because of Talmage, and everybody else loved it. And that tradition endured because of Talmage. And I would send him cell phone videos. Last couple of years in Ben Johnson, Mike had some great teams, Southern Conference Championship teams, and Talmage couldn't get back. And I'd send him videos of our cheerleaders arm in arm, our players arm in arm, the students arm in arm, all swaying to the singing of the alma mater. And what a wonderful tradition that Talmage started. And now we use it as a marketing slogan, to conquer and prevail. And that's a tribute and a testament to Talmage and what he meant to everybody. And that tradition will continue, hopefully long after each of us are gone. And you know, when I would do that, I'd send that to him, and he would always get back either a note or I'd call him, and he'd say, thank you for doing that. He goes, that means a lot to me. And it should be us saying to Talmage, thank you, because to me anyway, you were Wofford, and we appreciate all you did for us. So Beverly, our Distinguished Service Award winner, Talmage Skinner.
Wonderful event. I don't know when I've been so inspired hearing all of these athletes and their stories, and it made me remember those athletic banquets you would have at the end of the year. And I enjoyed going because I enjoyed hearing those students talk, and I enjoyed hearing all the wonderful things they were doing and that they were capable of doing. So it was great. But those of you who knew Talmage were aware of his great love for Wofford College, his alma mater. I was made aware of that great love he had for Wofford College very early in our dating, actually. I knew exactly where I stood in relation to Wofford College. And so after that, for almost 60 years, I lived with this avid, unabashed Wofford fanatic. It was wonderful. We had a great time here. And in 1985, when the then President Joel Sain asked Talmage to come to be the chaplain at Wofford, you can imagine how thrilled he was. But he also thought it was an honor and a privilege to come and to be present and to support the students, the faculty, and the staff at his beloved Wofford College. He felt almost compelled to be at games, plays, concerts, anything that Wofford students were doing. And most of the time I was with him. So my life was greatly enriched from those experiences and from those people. And to this day, I should be forever grateful for all of that. So, our daughter, Valerie Hendricks, her husband, Artie, both class of 1990, our granddaughter, Smith, and our grandson, TK, join me today in thanking you for this award for Talmage, this honor that you have given him. And for those of you who may be a little curious, yes, the T in TK's name is Talmage. The K is Kirkwood for Artie's father, TK's other grandfather. And Smith, well, Smith is named for Valerie and Artie's paternal, for Valerie and Artie's paternal grandmothers. Valerie's grandmother, Smith, Talmage's mother, and Artie's grandmother, who was an athlete. And yes, Talmage made sure from the time these two grandchildren came into the world that they knew the word Wofford. You know, that's the first word you learn to say, is Wofford. And he made sure they knew all about Wofford. As much as we missed our life here in Spartanburg, 7 years ago, we did move to Raleigh to be near our only child, Valerie, and her family. And it was a good move. It was timely and a very good decision. But it also gave us time to be close to them and for us to see, and especially now for Talmage to have that opportunity to see his grandchildren grow to this point. And it was very helpful for all of us, and we're thankful that we could do that. TK has been right in this room. He was here for basketball camp back in the summer, and he said when he came in, I played in this room. He came to basketball camp the year before. report too. So he is getting indoctrinated into Wofford. At an event such as this, Talmage would have been thrilled to hear about these people who are being inducted into the Hall of Fame. He would be honored that he was considered in this event. He would thank you, and then I am sure he would say what Howard said, "Go Dogs."
Thank you very much. So that concludes this afternoon, this portion of our ceremony. Immediately upon adjourning, the families will stay. We'll take photos with your plaques, and then we'll collect the plaques back up for our halftime presentation, where we'll represent them to you on the field at halftime with Dr. Samhat. And if the inductees will be on the field or at the field gate at the 5-minute mark of the second quarter, we'll take you down to the field at halftime. Before we go, I thought it would be appropriate one last time if we could listen to a Wofford tradition, Talmage Skinner singing the alma mater.
On the city's northern border, reared against the sky,